The news is just breaking, and it's unprecedented. Donald Trump has been found guilty on all 34 counts of falsifying business records to conceal a hush money payment to an adult film actress. This historic verdict not only marks a significant moment in American legal history, but also makes Trump the first former president to be convicted of a crime. The Washington Post reports that a New York jury delivered this verdict, which could have profound implications for the upcoming November election. The conviction and its immediate consequences. Trump faces a maximum sentence of 1 1/3 years to 4 years in prison. Given his age and lack of a prior criminal record, it's possible that he might serve a shorter sentence or even avoid incarceration entirely. As we await the sentencing, Trump plans to continue his campaign to reclaim the White House, despite now being a convicted felon. This conviction does not bar him from serving as president, but it certainly casts a long shadow over his campaign. Trump, who is already entangled in 3 other legal cases, is expected to appeal the New York verdict. His conviction is a monumental setback for him and a substantial victory for the Manhattan prosecutors who pursued the case, despite federal counterparts previously opting not to indict him. The persistence of the local prosecutors in bringing a case of such national importance cannot be overstated, highlighting the critical role local jurisdictions can play in holding powerful figures accountable. As expected, Trump's immediate reaction was defiant. On his social media platform, Truth Social, he wrote, "My civil rights have been totally violated with this highly political, unconstitutional, and election-interfering witch hunt. Our failing nation is being laughed at all over the world." He further criticized Judge Juan Merchan, claiming that the judge prevented him from presenting evidence and calling his legal expenses legitimate. Trump also alleged that the jury instructions were unfair and misleading, accusing the judge of bias and asserting that there was no crime committed. Trump's rhetoric underscores his strategy of portraying himself as a victim of a political conspiracy. This narrative has been a consistent theme throughout his political career, resonating deeply with his base. By framing the legal proceedings as an attack on his civil rights and a manipulation of the judicial system, Trump aims to galvanize his supporters and maintain their loyalty. The Washington Post raises an essential question. How will this impact the upcoming election? Despite the dramatic nature of the trial and now the conviction, polling data suggests that it has had little effect on the broader American electorate. According to CNN's Harry Enton, the percentage of Americans who think Trump did something illegal in the New York hush money case has remained stable at 46% throughout the trial. Additionally, the percentage of people who believe the charges are very serious has actually dropped slightly, from 40% to just over 35%. Why the lack of impact? There are several possible reasons why this historic trial and conviction have not swayed public opinion significantly. First, most Americans are more concerned with issues like the economy, inflation, immigration, and election legitimacy. Trump's legal battles are relatively low on their list of priorities. Ipsos Knowledge Panel data shows that topics like the economy and inflation command much higher attention from the public than Trump's court cases. Secondly, many of Trump's supporters view the charges against him as politically motivated. They believe he is being unfairly targeted, and as a result, legal troubles do not significantly alter their support. This deep-rooted loyalty means that even a conviction does not change their perspective. This phenomenon is reflective of a broader trend in contemporary politics, where partisan loyalty often trumps concerns about legal or ethical issues. In terms of the general election, Trump still holds a slight lead over Joe Biden, just as he did before the trial began. Despite the conviction, Trump's campaign shows no signs of losing momentum. This consistency suggests that his core supporters remain undeterred by his legal issues. For undecided voters or those on the fence, the key question is whether they want to vote for a convicted felon as president. However, it's uncertain whether this will be a decisive factor, given that many voters prioritize policy issues over personal legal troubles. Another point of interest is the media coverage of the trial. CNN's ratings during the trial coverage have not been particularly high, indicating that many Americans may not be closely following the proceedings. If public attention remains low, it's unlikely that the conviction will have a substantial impact on voter behavior. However, as sentencing approaches and the campaign heats up, this could change. The relative lack of media coverage might be attributed to several factors. One possibility is that the public has become desensitized to Trump's legal troubles. given the numerous scandals and investigations that have surrounded him over the years. Another factor could be the sheer volume of competing news stories, from economic issues to global conflicts, which might overshadow the trial in the public consciousness. This conviction is undoubtedly a significant moment in American history. No former president has ever been convicted of a crime before. This sets a new precedent and raises questions about the legal and ethical standards for those who hold or seek the highest office in the land. The Manhattan prosecutor's success in this case underscores the importance of holding powerful individuals accountable, regardless of their status. From a historical perspective, this event may be seen as part of a broader trend towards increased legal scrutiny of political leaders. In recent years, there has been a growing emphasis on accountability and transparency, driven in part by public demand for ethical governance. Trump's conviction could serve as a catalyst for further investigations and prosecutions of political figures, potentially leading to a more rigorous enforcement of legal standards. Trump's legal troubles are not confined to this case alone. He is also facing charges in 3 other cases, each with its own set of implications. These include investigations into his alleged interference in the 2020 election, his handling of classified documents, and his financial dealings. Each of these cases presents its own challenges and potential consequences, both for Trump personally and for the broader political landscape. The outcome of these cases will likely influence public perception of Trump and could have significant implications for his political future. A series of legal defeats could erode his support base and diminish his chances of winning the presidency. Conversely, if he is acquitted or manages to delay proceedings until after the election, he could emerge with a stronger narrative of victimization and resilience. While Trump's base remains steadfast in support, the broader public reaction is more complex. The conviction could galvanize his supporters, reinforcing their belief in a biased legal system and increasing polarization. Conversely, it could mobilize opposition among moderate and independent voters concerned about his ethical and legal conduct, highlighting the risks of electing a president with such a contentious legal history. The judiciary's role in this case has been pivotal. Judge Juan Merchan's handling of the trial has been both praised and criticized, reflecting the intense scrutiny that accompanies high-profile cases. His decisions on evidence admissibility, jury instructions, and other procedural matters have been central to the trial's outcome. Trump's accusations of bias and unfairness are part of a broader strategy to undermine the credibility of the judicial process, a tactic he has employed in other legal battles. The judiciary's ability to remain impartial and uphold the rule of law is crucial in maintaining public trust in the legal system. This case highlights the challenges judges face in high-profile trials, where their decisions can have far-reaching political and social implications. In summary, Donald Trump's conviction on all 34 counts of falsifying business records to conceal a hush money payment is a landmark event. While it's too early to predict the full impact on his presidential campaign, it is clear that this development will be a central issue as the election approaches. Trump's response has been predictably defiant, and his supporters remain largely unmoved by the verdict. As the political landscape continues to evolve, this historic conviction will undoubtedly be a topic of intense scrutiny and debate.